so hopefully you found some nice palindromes. This is how my test ended up. Yours doesn't have to be exactly the same, but just to show you what it might look like, I've got 3 tests here. I'm instantiating a test palindrome class at the beginning, and the reason for that is because I didn't want to keep loading the words. So in here you can see in the constructor I just load the words one time and then use that throughout. Yeah, so I think that is like a pretty basic intro to TDD. We'll be doing a little more. But the purpose of this video is to talk about StringBuffer and StringBuilder. Okay, I'm going to make a little thing to test it out here. I'm going to call this love buffer. Okay, so string builders, string buffers, they're very similar. Okay, string buffer, string builder. There is a difference. One of them is faster and one of them is thread safe. I've never had to use that in 20 odd years of programming, so you probably don't need to worry about it just yet. Okay, so there are 3 general steps that I use when I'm using these, and it just kind of fits in with an algorithm, very basic. So this is how you'll mostly be using them. You initialize it, then you append stuff, and then you usually convert it to a string. Okay, so I'm going to show you a quick example of this. So string buffer, whichever one comes up is the one I'm going to be using. I'm going to initialize it with new. Okay, then I'm going to add some stuff. Append, and I can append all kinds of things, as you can see here. I'm going to append a kiss on here, and then I usually convert it to string. In this case, I'm just going to CISO and see what happens. I can CISO the buffer, but usually this is in a method and you're returning something, so then you go buffer.toString. Okay, kisses, I'm going to put a bunch more on here though. Let's say 30. Move that alt up in there. Okay, and I'm going to put some hugs on here. Kiss, hug, kiss, hug. Okay, so those are the steps. Initialize the thing. If you don't, you're going to get this happening. No, it's going to actually force me to because I'm in the main method. But yeah, this no likey, so you'll initialize it. And then you do your appending. You can do other things other than appending. You can do, you know, inserts or whatever. But append is the most common. Buffer is, or builder is kind of like a place to collect stuff and convert it to a string. All right, you'll be doing that a million squillion times probably. Okay, I'm going to do a little example and I'm going to do a test first. So I'm going to make the world's simplest, this is not a class, this is going to be JUnit test case. The world's simplest encryption. This won't be securing any of your data. Okay, just to make sure that's running. All right, so this is what my encryption algorithm is going to do. If I give you a A, I want to get back a B. Okay, so I'm going to encryptor is going to be the name of my class. Encrypt. If I encrypt an A, I expect a B. But I'm going to break this down. Yeah, no, that's fine. Encrypt. But, you know, we're going to just do a very simple situation first. Encryptor. So we're starting just with characters. And like I was saying with TDD, start with the smallest possible thing you can test, which is a letter. And then afterwards, I'm going to move this up into sentences and words, but starting as basic as I can. Okay, so it's failing because this thing's red, so I'm going to create that in the source directory. And then I'm also going to create the encrypt method. And I'm going to check the, see if it made it right. And it didn't really, because I would like it to return a string. I'm going to give this a proper name. Encrypt me. That's what we want to be encrypted. And yeah, all right, so just making sure that this will fail. Okay, it expected a B, but was null. Okay, so let's get to implementing this thing. So we're going to use the fact that cars have int values. First thing we need to do is get the int value out of it. Okay, so encrypt me is the string, but I guess I need to get a character out of that. Let's see if I can make this into an int. Numerical value. I guess I'm going to just get the first one, which is char at 0. Or, ooh, it could be cool, and I could show you another method in the string class, like we have something that does the last character or something. No, now I'm wasting your time. I'm looking for something that doesn't have a parameter. No, okay. So let's just get the character at 0 and see what happens when we do that. Are we going to get a number? Yes! Okay, we're getting a number. That's super awesome. That's the ASCII value of A. And then what we're going to do to it is we're going to add 1, because that should make a B. Okay, so we have that. And then we're going to convert it back to a char. Okay, so it's going to require me to cast it like that. Alrighty, so now I'm going to reuse this guy with alt down and stick that encrypted value in there and see what we get. Ooh, look, a B. Alright, so then I'm going to just return that thing, but I need to give it a little bit of a better name. Encrypted. That'll do. Alright, so now I'm going to return this. And hopefully my test will pass. Ooh, didn't like that because we're returning a car. Let me put that into string form, because we're not going to be dealing with cars for very much longer. It's not much use to be able to encrypt one character. Okay, so there's our basic version. Now I'm going to come over here and make another test. So all this does is it tests encrypt one character. And the next one I'm going to make is going to encrypt a word. Okay, so I'm not going to actually do all the calculation of this, but let's see if we have Java in here, what's that going to come out to? So I'm actually going to, okay, I'm going to make my best effort. I don't want to go and like type all that stuff in. So let's see. For this, I'm going to just change it a little bit and iterate over my string. Okay, and then move this guy down, 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 down. And then make this an I. Okay, so now we're getting to the good part, because I'm going to need to use something to collect the stuff, and I guess that's why I decided to choose this exercise. But before we go there, I'm a little uncomfortable with this because I haven't got an actual test, and I was thinking, you know, maybe it would just wash out real quick and I could give this a value, but nah. So what I'm just going to do is make it something like that. I'll just put 3 B's, 3 A's, and then I'm going to find actual words later. Okay, so this isn't compiling. I'm just going to return that to get to a compiling state for a second. Make sure my test fails. Actually, it's failing for both situations. Expected B, but was B. All right, let's see. Okay, so I'm going to start with a collector dude, and those are StringBuffer, StringBuilder. I'll use builder for kicks. And then I'm going to initialize it. And then when I get a new encrypted car, I'm going to append it. Append. Okay. And then I'm going to return, see, step 3. Return, convert it to a string. Okay. All right. Made the builder, added the stuff, converted to string. Okay, it's all happy there. I feel like I could have done this a little better, but that's what happens when you're off the cuff. So now I'm going to just harden this up by putting an actual word in here that has a capital, no less. And I guess this is what it would be. That seems pretty legit. K, B, W, B, A, B, yeah. Okay, so now if I wanted to change this code, I would be fairly confident to have it tested and it's safe. Okay, so that's an example of a string builder, or using StringBuilder, and I'm going to put in here some stuff for you guys to decrypt. So you're going to have to make a test or tests, however you feel, to do decryption, and then implement the method in the encryptor class. Okay, almost done with this one. All right, there's one other thing. Yeah, I want to show you about split. This is pretty common, and this is one of the string methods that requires interacting with an array. And some of this will probably be familiar to you. Okay, so say quite regularly we have something like this. It's my name, and then you want to split it based on the space. So I would just split like that, put a space on it, and then it's going to return me an array of strings. Like that. And then I can print each one separately. So that should give me June. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, so this is a very common thing. We used it before. I'm going to show you now in a moment. Splitting based on space like that. And very commonly you'll do a split based on a comma because you have a CSV, a comma delimited file. And yes, so the way we used this was in the Game of Thrones. We're splitting some stuff up. Yes, okay. So how it works is when you read in the metadata, this stuff was separated with a comma, see? So if you wanted to get out the character name, the house, and then the messages file, then you had to do this. So there was a split going on, split by the comma, and then did some trimming to get rid of the spaces, and then construct your character based on that. Okay, so that's split. Split is important, and it returns an old school array. Okay, I have an exercise that's a bit of a puzzle. So what I'm trying to do with this course is teach you not only to make code from scratch, but also to use legacy code. And the reason for that is because pretty much in your programming career, for the vast majority of the time, you'll be working on some code that already exists. And there's a skill involved in learning to read code, to understand it, and then to gracefully add to it. So that's what this puzzle is going to be. You may need to use a StringBuffer or StringBuilder, but this is the deal, right? So I have a hangman program. It ain't pretty, but it works. Okay, hangman. So I've got these characters, 1, 2, 3, however many of those, and I have to try and guess what is in the spaces. So I usually start with vowels A, E, I, O, U to get a head start, and then I'm filling in different letters and whatever. Okay, so I can see actually it's looking for elements here. Now look what happens if I get it right. Oh, and by the way, the 4 is how many lives I have left. So elements. Okay, so I have completed the puzzle, but it didn't tell me I was right, and it didn't load the next one. So that is you guys' challenge, to finish this program by doing a check for whether if it was correct, and then to load the next puzzle. And then as an optional, see here are the words that I'm using. It's an optional, if you want to make it even cooler, you can use the words file to put a random word in here as the puzzle instead of these hard-coded ones. All right, look forward to seeing what you do with that. Catch you later.